Like besides mine and Thad's?
Well, a lot of them are duplicates. So.
Really? How many were duplicates, John? How many people asked me about my hair? I'm intrigued.
Do you just want to do them right now?
Yeah.
Okay, there's a couple.
All right.
I'll let you respond to all of them.
All right.
Michael, welcome.
Jonathan C.
What's going on, dude?
Oh, it's going, bro.
It's going.
It's
Okay.
going.
Well, you had a lot of. There's a hot topic in the hair department.
I see. Yes.
I'm gonna go through all of the Instagram questions.
Okay.
Peyton has an add-on too.
Okay.
That was not on Instagram, so.
Love it.
It's the Jesse 2 asks, what's the best way to consistently 360 no scope?
What?
You play Destiny. Do you 360 in Destiny?
No, I'm not really a big sniper guy in any video game.
So if you had to tell Jesse one thing, a tip.
Well, it's if it's mouse and keyboard, man, just flick it. If it's a controller, good luck. I don't know how you can do that well.
There you go.
I'm the wrong person to ask.
Tim Brummel asks, how much money would it take for you to buzz your hair?
Oh gosh. Is Tim paying?
Let's keep it high. I haven't talked to him. I was going to ask him a price, but hypothetically, if someone laid down the money, what amount would you do it for?
Lowest amount, probably $5,000.
$5,000?
Daddy needs a house, bro.
Jeez. Dude,
I need closing costs,
I would probably do it for $200.
I don't know, man. Like there's a commitment. There's a good reason why I haven't cut my hair, and that's because like I think the last time I actually had a haircut was I got it trimmed last Easter. Shout out to Kennedy Everspa. She trimmed my hair.
Plug for Kennedy. She did my my wife's hair, and a ton of people at our church. So if you need a haircut, go to Kennedy.
Yeah, she's great. I know she's done Nina's hair. She's done my wife's hair. She's done my hair.
She's good at color too.
She's great. I think it's like Kennedy Cosmo on Instagram or something like that.
You're welcome, Kennedy.
You're welcome, Kennedy.
I'll get 10%.
She trimmed my hair like last Easter, not this past one, but Easter 2022. She trimmed it. But before that, and that was like the last haircut I had. Before that, it was like November of 2020. So I really have not cut my hair.
November of 2020. $5,000.
I know it seems a little steep. It probably like, I don't know, $500. Probably.
Okay.
Honestly, $500, I'd do it.
Okay.
I'd do it. Maybe. But I don't want to cut my hair until my daughter Gideon gets her first haircut. That's kind of my...
You're going to do it at the same time?
Yeah, I think so.
Cute.
So it's just, she was born with a full head of hair pretty much. And so I would love to just kind of have that little memory, That seems really like, oh, it's nice and sweet.
You should let her cut the first.
Yeah, I probably would. Although she scares me sometimes. She can be quite vicious.
Like what?
The other day, like I have new glasses. I don't know if you noticed that. I got new glasses like a couple weeks ago.
I've seen them. Yep.
And she was getting in that stage where she was like just kind of like doing this, like
just whacking stuff.
Just whacking.
Yeah.
And she whacked my glasses on my face, and they kind of got messed up. So I was like, well, I've needed new glasses for a while, so might as well just like pull the trigger now. And she still smacks my glasses off my face, so it still happens.
Gosh.
Yeah.
Nina Elliott asks, what is your favorite cereal?
Oh, that's a loaded question. I am a cereal guy.
Same.
I love cereal. If I want, like, I have like two categories. If I want like something sugary and sweet, it's Fruity Pebbles.
Okay.
If I want something a little more like not as sweet and kind of on the healthier side, I love Honey Bunches of Oats with almonds in it.
Nice.
Those are like my two that I really like, but I also like, like Frosted Mini Wheats and stuff like that too. So.
Gotcha.
I got a couple.
Yeah, I could eat cereal pretty much every day. I think I do, actually.
Emily gets on to me sometimes because, like, if I'm up late and I want, like, a snack, I immediately gravitate to a bowl of cereal all the time.
It's so good.
All the time.
Let's see. You asked yourself, how long has it been since you had a haircut? November 2020.
My answer own question.
Thad Wood, when's he gonna get a haircut?
I don't know.
When your daughter?
When my daughter, yeah.
Yep.
Or if someone gives me $500.
Or $500. Can you? Can you say a sentence in French?
I can. And
Okay.
I feel like
Let's
I
go.
know who asked this question.
No, you don't. You don't actually.
I don't actually.
They didn't ask that question, but it has to do. France is in there.
It's really funny because like we've had this like joke before.
Yep.
Bonjour, je m'appelle Michel. Hello, I'm Michael.
Wow.
There's a introduction.
Mary Grace asked you, what's your favorite region of France? And where he'd like to vacation in France.
Well, let's give some context. My family, my dad's side, my grandmother was born and raised in France, in a city called Lyon, which is southern France. And then my dad, like my grandfather's side, is Italian. So like I come from a European family, hence Marsilio is an Italian last name. Honestly, I would love to go to none of the touristy places. Because my parents went a couple years ago. They went and they went into Paris for a couple weeks, and they went to a town called Vannes, which is a little bit south, and then making their way all the way down to Marseille and Lyon, where my family is from. And I would probably like to do something similar.
Yeah.
And then honestly, because I'm a little bit of a World War II buff, I would love to go to Normandy and see that as well. Because I just my great grandfather fought in World War II, and so I would love to kind of see that, like. The beaches of Normandy and stuff like that. I think that'd be really cool.
Yeah. What food would you eat there? That you're like, man, if I was in France right now.
I don't know. I'm a really picky eater, and a lot of French food is
like croissants.
I like croissants. I mean, or croissant. I mean, what was it? Oh gosh, who did this? It was like at the Christmas party a couple years ago. I think it was Cara.
Oh, is it
macaroons?
Wait, there's macaroons. There's something else that's different.
There's crepes as well.
No, it's like they have
like the little cookie wafer things.
Yeah.
I'd probably eat those. I'd probably eat my weight in those.
Okay.
Or crepes. Crepes are delicious.
Yeah. Crepes are good. They're like
it's very thin
pancakes if they just weren't fluffy.
As what was it in Talladega Nights? It's a very, very thin pancake.
Yeah. Okay. These are my questions.
Okay, cool. Let's go.
If I were to respond to my own Instagram.
Okay.
If you could only choose 3 pedals for the rest of your life, what would they be?
I don't like where this is going.
Guitar pedals.
Oh, okay. JHS double barrel. Dual drive.
Solid. Yep.
Really good overdrive. Morning Glory and I think it's like a TS-808 or something like that on the other side. A reverb, probably a Big Sky. I absolutely love my Big Sky, and especially because I've had some time recently to really dig into it and presets and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then surprisingly, I don't think I would put a delay. I really dig this Walrus Audio Juliana that I got, which is a chorus. It's a stereo chorus with a tap in it. And I don't know, I've been really digging it. Like it's kind of almost always on now.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool. So
for the rest of your life, you won't have delay.
Yeah.
I mean, you won't have reverb. No, you won't have.
I'd have reverb, but I wouldn't have delay. But here's the cool thing with the Big Skies, like the parameters, you can actually have. You can make a delay-ish. Okay. So that's timeline. You can't make a reverb sound. So
yeah. What's been your favorite moment on stage?
Like leading worship? Or
playing
just
in a band, anything.
Man, I'm gonna go back to earlier this year, at the end of Abide, when we did the Abide nights in Canton. Those were just special times where everybody was just in it, and there wasn't any kind of distraction or anything getting in the way, and there was just a lot of surrender, a lot of just intimacy with Jesus, and I haven't experienced anything that has topped that moment.
Wow.
So,
and you get to play baritone.
And I got to play baritone, but it wasn't. I'm not talking about the second night. I'm talking about the first night.
You didn't. So you didn't play the first night?
Huh?
You didn't play baritone the first night?
No, I played acoustic the first night.
Second night.
Second night I played baritone, which was totally unnecessary and was probably not in the house or.
You know Cole?
Yeah.
I think the first thing you ever said to him was like, "I'm playing a baritone." He was like, "Cool."
I was very excited when I got Bertha, my baritone. That's what I named her. I was very excited because I'd wanted one for like 10 years, and that kind of goes into like my musical journey, and we'll get into that in a minute. But I've always wanted one. Always liked experimenting with different tunings and stuff. So,
dude, I heard a baritone acoustic the other day.
Sick, isn't it?
They sound so good. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Who is it? Jonathan Hessler at Bethel plays one.
A baritone acoustic.
Oh
God.
Yeah. He plays it's like a Taylor. I think it's called a 426. I think this is a model number.
Yeah.
But it's baritone. 20. I think it's a 28-inch scale length, B2B, sick.
Yeah.
And baritone acoustic sounds so good.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
So, where did it all start, Michael? Music. Where did it start for you?
Well, when I was a young kid, I was probably like under 10. I got involved at the church that my family went to, and they had a kids choir and stuff like that. And so singing was just kind of a natural thing. Like I've never, at least in my youth, I never felt like I had to try with singing. It just kind of came naturally. That led to being into an audition group and stuff like that, where we actually kind of toured the Southeast as a little kids audition group thing, singing gospel songs.
So like all choir stuff?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And
did you get a solo?
I was actually too nervous back then to audition. I was just like, I'm just going to stay in my lane here.
Yeah.
Fast forward to I think it was like 7 or 8 when that was going on. And then when I was 9, I started taking piano lessons from this lovely woman who was a part of our church. And she was like awesome, like really talented. I took lessons for a year, and I was like, I hate this. I never want to do this. Like, my little ADHD brain could not stand like all of the little lessons and all of that stuff. Yep. And so I did a year, I stopped, and like 6 months later for my 10th birthday, my dad bought me a Squire Strat for my birthday. And that was like...
So you're like 10?
Yeah, I was 10. And, for the first 6 months I didn't touch it. Because I was like, I don't know, it just seems too hard. I don't want to put the effort in.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. Found a really awesome music teacher when I was going into 5th grade. So my music teacher at the time, his name is Rich Gunderlock. And funny enough, I've actually kept in touch with him and seen him play, and he's seen me play and stuff like that. And he leads worship, and which is really cool.
Yeah.
So I took lessons from him for 3 years, and his methodology of teaching is the same way that I teach my students at Rooted right now. And that's, I teach them what they want to play. I'll start with some, he started with foundational stuff, scales and, easy chords. But then, he gave me the CD and it had Linkin Park and, Yellow Card and Blink-182, some Jimi Hendrix, some blues stuff, but a lot of just modern, alternative rock and roll.
Yep.
And one of the things that stuck out to me was a band called Coheed and Cambria. And that was it still is one of my favorite bands of all time, but he had this song on there, and it was just all of a sudden this is what I want to play. This is what I want to do. And yeah, took lessons from him for 3 years, going into middle school and high school, and then stopped just because he literally told me, he's like, I have nothing left to teach you. We're just jamming at this point.
Yeah.
Which is a really cool thing. And so got to high school, and I was already a Christian and placing my faith in Jesus during that time, and got plugged into leading worship, playing guitar for my youth group. And that's where things really started to Thad mentioned this on your last episode, my music relationship is so intertwined with who I am as a Christian and who I am as a believer.
Yeah.
Where once I put those two things together, it really just became one. And so played guitar for like 2 years going into my sophomore year, and then started leading worship instead of just playing guitar, and really found a love for putting those two things together. Out of that came a couple bands and some stuff like that, which was fun. Shout out to Chandler Elder, who put up with my antics my junior and senior year.
Can you first describe the band and then describe the hairstyle that you had?
Oh Lord. Sure. So the band names are always really crappy.
Yeah.
Like
what was it though?
The band name was called Break the Sea. If you still
that's a good
yeah,
name.
it's just terrible.
I like that. No,
well, the whole idea was like, oh, Moses, through the Lord broke the sea in half, and the Israelites got out of Egypt, and that was the idea.
Yeah, that's cool.
Which it was cool. And our first T-shirt was a burnt orange with blue seahorses on it. It was great.
A burnt orange?
A burnt orange
T-shirt.
T-shirt.
Like I was like
no,
actual
not
burnt.
A fruit.
I was like, why is there a burnt orange?
No, it was a burnt orange
with
shirt
a seahorse,
with seahorses and a ship on it with waves crashing over it, and it was not my favorite design. I wanted it to be a
Who
black
designed
shirt.
it?
I honestly can't remember.
Was it Chandler?
No. But it was funny because like we were always trying to be like this heavier like punky band, and we were like the most indie like chill band that there was.
Yeah.
We even had like this one guy who was like always at our shows. He was like, yeah, I scream. I was like, oh dude, that'd be so cool. Like, can you scream over one of our parts? So dumb. So dumb. We were a band for like a year, and Chandler and I, like, all of us went to the same church, but Chandler and I really kind of wrote everything. Like, he was the lyric guy and I was the music guy, and we just kind of put our heads together. Like, you've seen a lot of bands that kind of do that mold. Like, if you know the band Kiss, Paul Stanley and Gene Simmons were like that. John Lennon and Paul McCartney were like that. So it was something that worked for us. I didn't know how to write down what I was feeling at the time and channel that.
What were you feeling?
So much angst. Enough to shave half of the side of my head and bleach. And it's a picture on my Instagram. You should go follow me, MD Marsilio on Instagram.
I'll put it up on here.
Please don't. I tagged.
Wait, do you have a picture of the T-shirt? I'll put that up too.
I think so. I could probably find it. I
send
have
it
a
to
better one that I still have.
Yeah.
That's actually really cool. And if you want to do a giveaway, I'll just give it to you. I don't care.
Okay.
I literally have
we're giving away a T-shirt.
So much merch and so many CDs. Like, who listens to CDs anymore? Nobody. But I got like 200 of them.
You have 200 shirts?
200 CDs. I probably have 50 shirts. I probably have 50 left.
In your possession?
Oh yeah. Because so like what happened was like as the band was taking off, we broke up. Like we were playing we played some pretty decent sized shows back in the day, and I don't know how we ended up getting like on the bill when we were so bad. I say we were so bad. It probably was better than what I'm describing, but I just being in that time, like I thought that I was like the best thing, and I look back at on how arrogant I was. I'm just like, no, it was definitely not the best thing.
All right, I can give away one of these T-shirts.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, and a CD.
And a CD
autographed.
If that means something to somebody, sure. I do not care.
All right. In the comments, the first person to put "Break the Sea" in the comments, I will send you a T-shirt and a CD from Michael's band in high school.
It's pretty terrible. You won't enjoy it. The shirt's pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie. It was my favorite shirt design. It's not the orange one.
Not the orange one.
It's a black one.
Okay.
And it had like this like looking glass thing that would be on like a ship.
Yeah.
And it said like "Break the Sea," and like it was an expensive shirt too. We got them.
So you didn't make money off the T-shirts?
Oh no. No. Okay. The first shirt we did, and that's actually how we got studio time. We
because of the shirt?
Yeah, because we would sell the shirt at like $10, and the EP that we recorded, the CD, whoever wins that you would get, has 4 songs on it, and it only cost us. It was in 2008. Only cost like $1,100 or $1,200 to record all 4 songs, which honestly was not too bad.
Yeah.
And it took. I think the whole process, like we recorded everything in a week, and it took like 6 months for it to get back to us back then. Which honestly, for an actual like full blown studio, that's not bad.
Yeah.
but yeah, right as soon as like summer of 2009, we released the CD, and a month later we break up. And it's mainly because like we all kind of wanted to do different things. I was like, I want to write more secular music, and everybody else in the band was like, oh, I don't really care. And then Chandler and I, that was the thing. So like Chandler and I had like a falling out here for a while, because he wanted to go more of like the worship route, and I did not.
Gotcha.
And so, that's what happened. But it's okay, because Chandler and I are great friends now, and like it's funny, he's actually starting a podcast too.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Sports?
No, he's calling it The Creative Elephant. I can't remember what it's about. But he asked me to be on it too. But
cool.
Yeah. But so like that was that band. And then as soon as that band broke up, I was a senior in high school. I was like, man, I really want to be in a band again. Like I want to figure this out. Kind of joined and played guitar for one band right out of high school. This band had a terrible name that I will not share because it's so bad.
Can you imply?
I'll just
give
say,
me a blank.
The band was called This Could Spell Disaster. It's just like
it's cringe, but it's not
cringy.
It's not.
But here's the thing: that band I had a lot of fun in. We opened for Hawthorne Heights one time, which was really cool. We played at this festival called Barbecue Fest in Douglasville at a venue called the 7 Venue. Opened for a bunch of big bands and stuff like that, and it was fun. But I grew tired of like the style of music, and I left. They kept on going, and eventually I think they broke up and formed another band too. But I then my guitar player from my first band, him and I started our own thing, and one of the songs I'm playing later is from that band, because I actually that was my first time where I was actually able, because I was like 18 or 19, I could actually like write down and channel what I was feeling as a teenager and stuff like that. And that band, same deal. Like we started playing a couple shows, we recorded an EP with a buddy of mine, and he actually like cut us a sick deal. We recorded like 6 songs for $900 because he was going to the Art Institute. Yeah. And so he like hooked it up because he was like, I haven't recorded a band yet. I want to record a band. Yeah, get my name out there as a producer. So
cool.
That was a lot of fun. Did not last long.
So what's the average lifespan of your bands?
Probably like 7 months. But what's funny enough is, so after that, I wasn't in a band for probably 2 years. I was focusing on school and trying to figure my life out and stuff like that. The next band I was in was with my bass player of the previous band, who was like one of my best friends. His name's Adam. And the guy that actually recorded that EP that was at the Art Institute. And so we formed a band. I was in that band for about a year, and we did some great shows, had a lot of fun, but ultimately, like, right about the tail end of that band is when I met my wife. And so
then that band broke up.
That band actually got a new singer, and after I quit, and I decided that my relationship with my, I didn't know, I kind of had a hunch she'd be my wife, because like I wasn't really like, I was taking a break from dating and stuff like that. Yeah. And I just kind of like knew. I know that sounds really cliche, but like I knew that I wanted to marry Emily from the moment I met her. And so I didn't really do a whole lot of music stuff after that. I was playing in churches and stuff like that, and kind of gigging around, and through a lot of conversation between Emily and I, just like realizing the importance of being in a community and actually like leading that. And so that's kind of like, that led to how everything is now. It's like, I'm a worship leader first, like I'm a believer first, and then a husband, and then a father, and musician is kind of like the last piece of it. I still love writing songs, and I feel like I've written some great songs that really, one, either show truth of who God is, or two, how God has impacted my life, and I can share that story. Yeah.
So band.
Failure. Yeah.
And you were playing a little bit in church, but you weren't like.
Yeah, like I would play like, I would play almost every Sunday, pretty much. Yeah. And then like student gatherings and stuff like that.
Gotcha.
Was pretty consistent. And a lot of that was just guitar and just kind of, harnessing my craft. Yeah. My love for gear.
What happened after, like, you stop playing, all these different places?
Man, reality set in because I would define myself on like where I would play,
Yeah.
Like-
How big the
Yeah,
gig
like how
was,
big the
how
show
much
was.
I made.
I played in front of all these people. Like, dude,
Yeah.
who cares? Like, no
Yeah.
one cares. The amount of people in the room doesn't matter. I mean,
Yeah.
the people in the room matter, not the amount. And so, I got hung up though on like the number or
Yeah.
how much I got paid for being there.
Right.
And like, bro, gigging culture is so bad. Like I did that for so long, and it just ended up in like kind of like heartache because I never had roots and I never knew where to settle.
Yeah.
And I didn't really learn that until, man, after I got married, and Emily was just like, what are you doing? Like, this is like, I want to go somewhere and like develop a community and be somewhere and be plugged in and have relationships with people. And, my early 20s, I was like, I don't want that. So it took a while to get
What would you tell a gigging musician? Now, I know some people can do it, but if you had any advice for a gigging musician,
Don't.
Okay.
I mean, no, like in all seriousness, here's the thing. If you are a single person and you are talented enough to be able to be paid for your time and like go for it, like cool. But also understand the importance of like if you're gonna be at a church, don't just be the person that plays and then goes and sits in the green room. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Like, be the person that's active. Like, you might actually see what God's trying to lead you to, and like I've seen a ton of people. I mean, like I started off as a contractor at Revolution.
Yeah.
And then I was
That's
on
true.
staff there for almost 3 years.
Yeah.
And so like it was a place where it started, my heart started to really be affected by the people there. And if you open your heart enough to receive that and receive what God's trying to tell you, you're gonna understand pretty quick that the whole gigging thing is temporary.
Yep.
Like, you might not enjoy it as much as you think you do.
Yep.
Like, money is the root of all evil. Like it's a powerful tool, but a terrible master. And so we can't just be complacent because we're getting paid.
Yeah.
You
So when you realized that,
Mhm.
like, how did you start keeping music and money in balance? Like,
That's a great question. When it really started to kind of hit, like I was leading at First Baptist Woodstock and up at the Jasper campus, and like they would pay me to be there and stuff like that. And then eventually they offered me a job, and that was kind of like, okay, there's more to this, and I'd love to know how to do this better.
yeah.
And so when I realized like that's a calling and not just a job, and that this was kind of that instance, was like I was doing it, I wasn't doing it well, I didn't know, like it's just like, I'm getting paid to make music and build tracks and do this.
Yeah.
But it's so deeper than that. And so after that happened, like after I left there, I was like, I never want to gig anywhere again. And if I do, I don't want to be paid for my time. Because after that, like I ended up kind of on the west side of Atlanta, like in Douglasville and Hiram and Paulding County, and served at Westridge a good bit, which is actually where I ran into Chandler again after so many years.
Right.
And like I was kind of buddy with the worship leader there, and I had no desire to get paid. Like even though I didn't have a job, money was tight, I told Emily, I said, look, if they want me to fill in, I'll come play guitar. Who knows? This might be a place we call home one day.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like my heart just like shifted all of a sudden. It was nothing like, like, oh, over time, like I want to like wean off of gigging. Like, don't get me wrong. There's still moments today where like if someone, like basically like Tim asked me to come do something a couple days ago, and he's like, hey, can you fill in? I'm just like,
Hey, so my camera died. Well, it's time capped. I can't film for more than 30 minutes at a time, and I didn't realize that on my camera. So my bad about that. But basically, we talked about three things. I asked him if he regretted anything, and he said that he didn't regret anything, but he would have focused on his integrity more if he could go back and change something. the idea of like opening for a really cool band, or like a location, or like even in ministry, like making things seem better than they actually were, was like important to him. And I think now he realizes deep down that doesn't really matter, and people don't care. And it also like puts people off a little bit when you start bragging about all of your accomplishments and making yourself seem bigger than you actually are. So I thought that was really cool just to hear him talk about his experience with that. The second thing I asked him is if he was proud, like what was he proud of? And he said the whole experience with the harvest was amazing, and it's a dream that he always had, was being a part of like a worship team and writing a song that he thought would just change people's lives and minister to them. So he got really emotional about that. That was really cool. And I asked him what his dream was for the future, and he basically said that he wants to write, I think, 10 songs by the time he's 40. So we joked about it happening sooner than that because I think he can, but like self-produced, him writing his songs. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Sorry about the camera. I guess I'll have to take a pause in the future or download some sketchy software. Anyways, here's Michael singing.
So the song I'm going to sing is a song called Stonewall. It's a song I wrote back in spring of 2011. And it talks about how once I was dead, I was separated from God, and how God led me into that relationship with him. Been a long time since I played this song. I hope you guys enjoy it. Yeah, here we go.